The Backrooms have taken the internet by storm as the new online urban legend obsession, with countless videos, games, and even a collaborative writing project. Yet, I believe the complex found footage, or found footage for short, is the most accurate interpretation of the original Backrooms description, and also one of the most terrifying. However, before I begin to explain what makes this game a fantastic experience, we need to delve into what made the original Backrooms creepypasta so terrifying in the first place. The Tale of the Backrooms is a horror-based online legend, also known as a creepypasta. The word creepypasta is a lexical blend between creepy and copypasta, with the term copypasta being a reference to viral text, which is copied and pasted around the internet, generally for the sake of comedy. It goes without saying that the term creepy is a direct reference to the horror themes found in creepypastas. Even before any text was associated with the Backrooms, the original image had already made a few waves on the internet. April 21st, 2018. On a disturbing images thread on 4chan, an image was posted of a seemingly empty office space with yellow wallpaper, carpeted floors, and fluorescent lights. With the Dutch tilt and unorthodox room layout, the image looks slightly unsettling. In a way, this image began a popularization of a similar style of images known as liminal spaces, which could be described as transitional realms of uncanny familiarity and eerie ambiguity. 1 year later, on May 12th, 2019, the image would be reposted on another unsettling images thread, asking for similar pictures. After a couple dozen replies, one anonymous user posted the iconic origins of the Backrooms in their own reply.
If you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you.
This is nightmarish due to 3 plain facts. You are in the wrong place, there is no easy way out, and you are not safe. Just like that, online horror was changed forever. The fandom of the Backrooms began to grow, with many users all wanting to contribute their perspective and additions to the lore. More popular liminal space images were turned into new levels of the Backrooms, reinforcing the uncanny and almost dreamlike environment that creates a sense of discomfort in the viewers. There was even a collaborative writing project started in its own wiki, where anyone could add their floors to the Backrooms and entities to be considered by the community and accepted or rejected. This would later be criticized by many fans of the Backrooms as a step in the wrong direction, as the expansive lore would be difficult to follow, inconsistent with itself, and too similar to other collaborative writing projects such as the SCP Wiki, for example. Despite all this development, it was not until the 2022 web series by YouTuber Kane Pixels where the Backrooms truly transcended into internet virality. Creator of the series Severance has even credited the Backrooms as one of his inspirations, and it shows throughout the environments present in the series. Long, endless, confusing hallways with a maddening perfection, very similar to the feeling evoked from the original Backrooms. This massive growth in popularity led to several new interpretations of the Backrooms. Some good, others less so, but all of them were inspired from the original creepypasta. However, this expansion was not all well received. Just like the Backrooms wiki was criticized for being an over-explanation of the Backrooms which felt unnecessary, many such interpretations added countless entities, floors, and organizations all wanting to enter and understand the Backroom. While this did create a greater sense of adventure, it also made the Backrooms less focused on horror, much like many horror franchises of the past. The more it grew, the less scary it got. Based only on the original text, no one should ever want to end up in the Backrooms, or even know of its existence until it's too late. While the original post did make reference to a potential entity, the true horror of the Backrooms came from the never-ending liminal space rooms and the maddening isolation. I believe no game captures this original interpretation better than the complex found footage. In the complex found footage, as the title implies, you are playing through a found footage tape of the Backrooms. Rather than start game, the main menu reads insert tape. This may seem like a small detail, but it reinforces the idea that this is found footage. It also allows the game to justify its VHS style filter and aspect ratio used throughout gameplay. Another fun detail by the Icelandic developer PG Wave is the "Are you sure?" message in the beginning of the game. Generally, in video games, we are asked if we are sure we want to exit the game. By asking us if we're sure we even want to begin, it puts us a bit on edge. And this small subconscious sense of unease is great to begin this experience. As the game starts, we are given the first and last bit of information provided directly to the player: the year in which the footage takes place, and the title screen. The complex is in reference to a different name used for the Backrooms, depending on which interpretation you consider. A detail I enjoy is, thanks to the stylization of the text, it could be considered diegetic information provided to anyone watching the tape. Again, truly selling the idea that this is a tape someone found and is examining. The first thing any player will notice is the surprisingly great graphics and sound design. While the design isn't directly realistic compared to other games we'd see today, it feels very accurate to the representation of VHS tapes. I remember several childhood tapes of my family having similar visual styles of recording, as well as the audio that plays during rapid movements. This is one of the strongest aspects of the game and truly sells the realism of the environment you're in. While the game begins in the original Backrooms, there are new floors and environments to be found based on similar liminal spaces and common Backrooms representations. As you move through these levels, you find yourself seeing things around corners that disappear when you go check, shadows that move as soon as you look away. While there are times where the game will directly bring notice to these things based on the lighting or sound effects, other times will be played completely straight, and you can even miss them on your first playthrough. This is not a game that's out to jump scare you with a monster that chases you down and gives you a game over screen. It respects its viewer a lot more and instead allows you to feel the tension of living in the backrooms, being in the moment, and understanding that there might be something behind you, or it might just be your imagination. Eventually, you'll find an elevator that brings you to new floors and areas. Within these areas, the dreamlike design of the backrooms is constant, with vaguely related design yet nonsensical architecture, signs that are confusing, hallways that lead to nowhere, and environments that feel completely out of their context. As the game progresses, at no point are you given any true feedback or objective by the game. In fact, many would consider this game to be a walking simulator, which is an often negative term used towards games where the vast majority of the gameplay is walking from one point to another. However, it works very well for this game as it allows the environment to build tension and make you uneasy, especially considering that at no point the player is truly in any danger. Even with the scary shadows and an anxious setting, there isn't a moment where the game flips and it becomes a chase where a monster runs you down trying to get to you. Instead, the player is, again, left alone to absorb the atmosphere and only become more and more tense as they go to new environments. This sense of fake danger is also amplified thanks to the lack of any true objectives. What makes this game so fantastic in building the atmosphere of horror is that it's not really a game. There's no score, there's no objectives, music, or a voiceover letting you know what to do. Instead, the game makes it very clear that you are here to experience the backrooms, not beat them. Another detail I love is that the game gives you a sprint and a crouch option. Ostensibly, this is to navigate the backrooms easily, but it also creates a sense of fear in any veteran horror game player, as we know these keys exist to hide or run away from some kind of enemy similar to games like Alien Isolation and Resident Evil. Yet, once again, having played the game, we know that there is truly no enemy or entity to fear. Still, knowing this didn't change the tension. Throughout my second experience in the game, I still found myself tense, even with the understanding that there was nothing waiting for me around the corner. This game is truly a masterful act of making you feel tense, and the fact that it does so much with so little is really just an absolutely enjoyable experience. Like I said at the beginning, I truly hope that you have played this game for yourself before watching this video, because going in knowing that there's no monster to chase you down, it doesn't really give you the same experience. After about an hour to 30 minutes of exploration throughout the backrooms, discovering many different environments, eventually the elevator goes to one last place. That is the first moment where I would almost consider this game having some form of jump scare. The elevator stops, crashes, and the camera seemingly falls back into reality, yet our protagonist is nowhere to be seen. We're given the title card, along with a hint towards a potential expansion of the story and the organization that may be in current ownership of the tape. Before finally we're given the credits, a direct reference to the inspirations from the Kane Pixel series, which we'll get to in a bit, and we return to the main menu. The game may be short, but the experience is definitely unique even among a saturated genre of Backrooms games. Unlike many other games where there is an objective, an enemy, and a way to win, this game throws you into the backrooms with no expectation of anything other than the experience itself. The simplicity of the backrooms is reminiscent of the original text, where the isolation and existential fear of being in such an unfamiliar area, along with the potential of being followed by some form of monster but never really sure, plays wonders on the individual's fear and sense of tension that never truly disappears even when you know you are safe. Every time the elevator doors open and closed, I found myself holding my breath, terrified of what could pop out at any moment. And not truly relieved because I knew that we were only pushing back the inevitable final scare that happens in so many of these horror games. The game subverts your expectations. It knows that we have played many horror games before, and it plays with the common tropes that are familiar with these types of games. A great moment is this time in the elevator where you think you're just going to move to a loading screen, and instead, this is absolutely terrifying because it keeps going with the idea that you're not really sure what will happen at any point, but it's always going to be tense and you're always going to be moving forward. But in reality, there are far too many moments for me to list and show that really made me feel tension and realize that this game was something special. That's why I highly recommend you play the game for yourself. In found footage, you are given the opportunity to explore the backrooms the way it was originally written. And the fact that this game is free to play on Steam right now is just another plus. If you haven't played the game yet, I absolutely recommend that you go in and try it. This game is a fantastic experience, and I truly believe we have a very talented developer here. So, what's next for these developers? Well, PG Wave have already released a sequel, The Complex Expedition. While I have to say, many of the things that made the original game so fantastic remain, the addition of a science group and exploration into the backrooms along with the ending makes it impossible to avoid the very obvious references to the Kane Pixel series. As a matter of fact, many eagle-eyed viewers have probably noticed several similarities between the two projects, and there isn't really any relation between the two. I can't help but feel slightly disappointed, as I believe this is more of a retread of something that already exists, and I would much rather see these talented developers take a more original interpretation of the backrooms. To the credit of the developer, I will say that they do admit to a certain degree of inspiration from the Kane Pixel series, and despite my grievances about where the inspiration may have come from, I cannot deny that there is a lot of potential and talent from this developer. I would love to see them tackle a more original project, maybe their own story, rather than focus on backrooms games which, frankly, will ultimately die out. Either way, in regards to whatever project they have coming next, as the saying goes, I will be there no matter what. I believe that this developer absolutely deserves a look if you are at all interested in horror games, and I can't wait to see what they come up with next. I highly recommend you try out both of these games, and this is an excellent opportunity for anyone just getting into the backrooms or wanting to experience them again to try it out. Thank you very much for watching my review of